guys, how are we doing? Welcome back to Old Billy Forex. Now a few days ago I wanted to just pop out on the bike to do a short journey, and as I went to turn the ignition on, nothing happened. No lights, nothing like that. So usually in those situations where there's no power at all, the first thing you do is you want to check the fuses, which I did. I went through every single fuse, even the ones that aren't relevant to a complete power outage. They're all fine. Check the battery terminals, they were all connected, but it turns out the battery itself was completely and utterly knackered. So what I've done is I've treated myself to a new battery. I did try and charge the old one up, and I was getting a slight reading out of it, a couple of volts, but not enough to get the starter motor turned over to start the bike up. So yes, like I say, I've got a direct replacement for it. And the thing is, I don't really use my bike every day. I wish I could. I get the train to work, it takes me 15 minutes. It actually takes me longer to get the bike because of the traffic. So I'm not using the bike every day, and it doesn't charge the battery up like it should do. What I tend to do is every weekend do like a 100-mile trip or 150-mile trip down to the coast somewhere, get out, blow the cobwebs off, and that will give the battery a nice charge, replenish it a bit, ready for the next one. But it hasn't been out for a couple of weeks now, and it's been laying flat, and I've done a couple of little short journeys, and what happens is the battery is using its power to start it up, but I'm not riding it long enough to replenish that power and build it up a little bit more. So it's completely knackered. So yes, this is the new one. Let's go and have a closer look and see what we've got. Alright, so here's the box it comes in. It is the Yuasa YTX20L BS, and it's got the range of applications you can use it for on the bottom there. Nothing to see on the box really, same thing all round, so we'll get that out of the way. It just says what it contains: one battery, one acid pack. Okay, it's a lot easier to handle that without this thing in it. Whoa, that is heavy. Okay, here's the battery itself. Now these particular ones you have to add the acid in yourself, just in the top there. We remove that seal and add the acid in. And after you have done that, it is effectively maintenance free. All you have to do is a sort of periodic charge in it, or keep it on a trickle charge if you have the luxury of doing so. So that's that. So there's the battery, and I'm going to show you how we put all this acid in and everything. And talking of the acid, here it is. It is sulfuric acid, becomes electrolyte when it goes inside the battery. Now I have to tell you this, and I cannot stress it enough, this stuff is absolutely brutal on your skin. It will burn you. If it gets in your eyes, it will blind you. It is absolutely ruthless, and it is just terrible stuff to get in your skin. Please, 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 when you're handling it, when you're doing your battery, wear gloves. Don't be an idiot. Put protective glasses on. Wear long sleeves. It is nasty stuff. Now, we're going to get cracking on this now. Obviously, you want to do it in a well-ventilated room. Don't take any risks with this stuff. It's pretty lethal. Now, the caps you see on the top here, these are what will fill in the gaps that is underneath this tape when we finally take it off and empty this acid into it. So without further ado, let's get cracking on that and fill it up. Okay, I don't even have safety goggles, so I'm going to put the old Arai on, this down. I ain't taking any chances. Take off the seal, gloves on, sleeves over. I don't fancy spending the afternoon in A&E. Okay. So just remove the caps. You you'll see on the end there, it has these silver sort of foil covers. The idea is you push this down into the battery and it will pierce these covers and it will drain out after a short while. So, visor down, and away we go. Apply a bit of pressure. There we go. Now straight away, hopefully, you can see those bubbles just coming up. Just give you a closer look. You can see the bubbles going up there. So that should take about 10 minutes or so. And then once that is filled up, the idea is you don't touch it for about an hour. So you need to let any residual gases that are building up inside here to work their way out. And just let it do its thing, let it settle in, because the acid has to, there's like a sort of fiberglass material in here. And the idea is it stops any acid sloshing about when you're on the bike, and it gives it like a stable base. So you just need all this acid just to perforate in there and work its way all the way down to the bottom, all the way around those plates, so it starts eating into it, which then of course creates the charge. Okay, so we'll come back in about 10 minutes. Cool, see you in a bit. Alright, 10 minutes are up. That's all pretty much drained off now. Now look, I know I look ridiculous. I know I do. This and all this stuff, but you know, if I don't have you know, the proper safety goggles, at least this way I won't get anywhere on my face, you know. There you go. Okay, so now that it's drained off, I'm just going to give it a couple of little taps, make sure there's no like drops caught in there still, just make sure it's all gone down. And then we'll take that off, leave it for 1 hour to let the gases disperse, and then we'll stick it on charge. Beautiful! And we'll get rid of that the proper way. So that's that out of the way. Done. Alright, so you're pretty much safe now, it's inside there. So take the gloves off. Take my Arai safety goggles off. Now all I'm going to do is just get a little rag and just wipe off any excess little droplets that are on the top there. Now, do I have a little rag? That is the question. Just get a bit of paper towel, just go over the top. Now if you listen, if you won't be able to hear that, but you can hear a fizzing with the acid eating into those lead plates in there. And so as soon as that is done and settled down, you can put the caps which came on top of the sulfuric acid into there, and then it's sealed for life. Alright, beautiful. Let's let it do its thing and then we'll come back to it. Okay, an hour's passed. The fizzing has stopped. All the gases have been released. It's now okay to put the cap on the battery. And once I've done that, that's it. That's maintenance free for the rest of its life. So, just going to line up. Sure, get this on right. Let's see what that's given us. So, I think you can see that there. It's already got charge in it, the Optimate is telling me. So it's on the way up now. Beautiful. So we'll give that a couple of hours. What I'm going to do on the terminals is what I always do, even when it's not a new battery, just every now and again put a little bit of copper grease on the terminals. So it does two things. It stops them corroding when water gets in there, stops them furring up, but it also makes sure when you have got the connectors on there and screwed in, the connections will be tight. It'll have a good flow of voltage going through it. A good connection, basically, is what I'm trying to say. These are the old bolts, the old nuts, screws, whatever you want to call them. We'll get rid of those. Alrighty, so let's bung the new one in. I mean, I don't know what it's like on other bikes, but on the Triumph it can only fit one way because the cables only go to one side, so you're pretty safe. Alright, let's get it hooked up. I'll tell you what, the hardest bit about this entire job is getting this bloody strap back on. I mean, I know it has to be secure, but Jesus. There we go. Alright, so I'm going to put in my new nuts and bolts. See, this is the time when you're doing this and a little bit will drop down the side and you've got to get your little magnetic stick to get the thing out. Alright, so that's that. Go, that's it, we're in. Takes a while to find the thread on that little bolt. Okay, we're done. Let's start it up. And I know from before that once you can disconnect the battery completely, you have to reset your clock, which is quite easy on this particular model. So here goes nothing. That's a good start. Now, excellent. Alright guys, that's it, we're done. So I'm glad that's worked. That's definitely put my mind at rest. So obviously a lot of you guys have done that before, you know exactly what you're doing. But for someone who hasn't done it before, hopefully you would have got some tips from that, and it would have put your mind at rest if you've bought a battery and you didn't know you had to put the acid in it. It's a very simple procedure, as you can see, but obviously just be very careful with that acid. Okay guys, so what am I doing today? I'm going camping today, and we're going down to Folkestone again, just one night, just to blow off the old cobwebs, 70-mile trips down. And then I'm back to work tomorrow to edit the video on the Triumph Explorer 5-year review. So that's going to come up either today as you're watching this or a few days later. Anyway, you'll see it when you see it. Alright guys, I'll see you soon. Take it easy. Adios. Bye.